Here he is.
Hello, hello.
How's it going, man? Look at you. Oh, mate, you're putting us to shame with your professional looking setup.
It's broken. Look, it's soggy, so I just had to glue it together. But it's not professional. Hopefully, it sounds alright. To be fair, I've had trouble with it.
Yes, man. What's happening?
How you doing, man? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, brother. Virtually.
Oh, sorry. Come on, mate. Mable wants to say hello as well. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's extra promo there, bro. Get the dog in there, mate.
Yeah, that'll get the algorithm.
Everyone loves dogs, bro.
Do you know what? Let's start there then. So, you know, we're in a landscape now where it does feel like you're a slave to the algorithm, right? I mean, even this call, we're recording it because essentially we're trying to do some sort of content. But what is the? I'm assuming we're all on the same page. None of us want to be here, kind of. Let's be honest, right? None of us.
You don't want to be here, bro.
Well, we don't want to be here chatting about fucking, you know, trying to self-promote our music. And, but we're in a landscape now where it feels like if you're not putting the effort in to do this sort of thing, then, well, no, from a label perspective, who's going to want to release on Flex Out if we're not really pushing, you know, pushing the music and trying to get it out there and doing these sorts of things. So that was kind of the first question, really. How do you guys feel as artists? Do you feel a pressure to get out on social media and be a content creator as well as a producer? And how do you feel about it?
Do you want me to go then? Being as no one.
Man, yeah.
Just pull the face instead. Yeah, man. Well, I've been making music for like 12 years now, but I've never really put too much effort into it because I've not really enjoyed social media as much. I think I probably would have benefited from like having a manager or something from early to kind of just do the, you know, the business side of things and the marketing, because that's something I've never been good at myself. I think it's just because, like you're saying, I'd like to do things a lot more organically and like the old school way of meeting people and releasing my music, you know, through the right outlets and stuff, not through like Instagram and all that sort of stuff. But it is what it is. Like, this is the times that we're living in. So we just got to roll with it or get left behind a bit. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? So
I think so. You know, even as a label owner, you know, I now feel a bit of pressure to be putting myself in front of the camera and kind of pushing this music that I believe in so much, and I hate it, but at the same time, we all want to be successful and we want to kind of get this music heard as much as possible. So it feels like everyone in the industry and the scene is kind of biting the bullet now and accepting, all right, yeah, it's not how it, like drum and bass back in the day, this is like the absolute opposite of the underground kind of scene and culture that got us into drum and bass. But yeah, I think we're all accepting now that we've got to do what we've got to do.
Yeah, dirty work.
Yeah, it's a ball ache, to be fair, a lot of the time.
So yeah, Tyler, you've just deleted all of your social media. Well, not your app. Sorry,
I haven't had it on my phone for like 3 weeks, and I'll tell you what, I've been a lot happier. It's it's just like and the thing as well is that it's like there's constantly you're constantly comparing yourself to your peers in a way that's unhealthy a lot of the time. And so like I always feel like, oh, I'm not posting enough, so I'm trying to find things to post. I'm trying to do this and that, and realistically, I just want to make tunes, like, and you can't just do that really unless you're like bloody top of the range, you know. Like if you're doing this, you've got the established name and stuff. But if you're trying to break through, it's, the market as well is so diluted with just everyone like doing anything music wise. And if it's the search engine optimization, all that stuff, it's like, what do you have to do to kind of come through apart from just making bangers or working with people? Like but it's not that simple. And so you've got to do things like this, and you got to do working. It used to just be like radio shows. Do a radio show every weekend. That was what it was like when I was like starting. I was like, yeah, or for like going to events. That was kind of the two ways to like kind of come through, or like SoundCloud and D&B share and all that shit. Like back in the day, just putting tunes out and mixers and stuff. And now you've got to do exposés with your face on the story like 2-3 times a week. So
yeah, I mean it's constantly evolving. And it has done over the years. It means I'm probably older than most of you lot. So like I remember AIM and all, MySpace and all that stuff. But like,
it's a Messenger. That used to be the one, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I reckon. I'll tell you what. I'm going to start with you, Ellis, if that's all right, because your track is the only track that's got vocals on the track. So I guess my main question was like, what's the track about?
I suppose it's kind of braggadocious, isn't it? It's kind of like I wouldn't say there's like a particular narrative of such. It's like I'll take you back to the start really, because I never originally kind of spat on D&B. Like it's always been hip hop, and then probably like last year I've always been into D&B like heavily, but I've never actually reached out to artists and stuff. But I reached out to Teej because I basically wrote like a verse, and I reached out to Teej because I heard one of his tunes with his Hot Property, wasn't it? Is that you and Objective, Teej?
Yeah.
I heard that, and I thought, you know what, like hip hop is so transferable to D&B, obviously because of tempos and stuff like that, and because it's something that I love, let me just give it a go. And I reached out to Teej, and fair play to him, he got back to me. I'm like, he doesn't know me from Adam, and he kind of gave me the opportunity and was like, yo, bro, you're sick, like, we should definitely do something. So that verse that I wrote for Hot Property, it was, to be honest, I was just stoned in my room, and I heard that beat and just got gassed, and just kind of just let it flow. And then I basically sent Teej the acapella that I spat over Hot Property, and then a couple of weeks later, or however long later, he sent me back bits that he was doing with it and stuff. And then since then, OCC and stuff have put a lot of faith in me, and kind of, we've done a couple of shows together, linking up this weekend as well. You there, Teej? Yeah? Yeah, man, see you there, brother. Yeah, man, so we link, they've kind of put me on, and I appreciate that. So yeah, going back to your question, there's not an exact specific narrative to it. It's just more so me spitting my truth, spitting, a couple braggadocious.
So would you say like when you're doing your thing, is it more about imagery and words rather than a narrative? It's more about like how would you describe? I'm putting you on the spot here, by the way, but how would you describe your style?
I'd say naturally a storyteller. I mean, I'm always trying to like paint a picture of things that I write. I feel like there's always like, there has to be like a start and an end. But obviously with this tune, I suppose there is some kind of narrative. Now I think of it, it's kind of like I'm saying, there's no need to come with this attitude that a lot of people have these days, like of trying to act bad all the time. Obviously it's always been a thing, but that hasn't really got a place in this music, this genre. And I think that's like a common ethos of people who are into like drum and bass and that. When you go to a D&B rave and a jungle rave and stuff, people are usually blessed, you know what I mean? You have good vibes, but then you go to like, I'm not sending for the genres and stuff, but you go to like house raves and stuff. I grew up going to all of them, and you get like a certain kind of energy off those kind of raves and stuff. So I think what I'm trying to say in those tunes is, this tune in particular is, these people are only bad in certain environments and whatever. Just loosen up a little bit, I guess. Yeah, man. So
that's really interesting. That's really interesting because when you listen to the tune, I mean, I always listen to lyrics, and they're so, you can listen to a song and everyone has their own interpretation of the lyrics and the words. But I love that. Sweet. So let's just go around the room then, and you touched on Ellis, you're a hip hop head originally, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, through and through.
So Dan, what about you?
Yeah, my music background's quite a varied one, really. I mean, growing up, I was into like a lot of like rock and stuff and like metal music, and I was always in like pop punk bands and like metal bands when I was like growing up. And then basically I moved to Bristol in like 2019. I was in a metal band for like 2 years, and that was literally my whole life. Like, I was actually just doing metal. Like, I was like, all my friends were in metal bands. I was listening to it all the time. And then, I mean, I liked D&B, but I just slowly got more and more into it towards like the end of the band, and I started making tunes and stuff in like 2018. And then I ended up moving to Bristol, and drum and bass just basically took over my whole life. But yeah, it's mostly like metal music, rock music.
That's probably the most popular answer when I ask people. Like, I was a singer in a ska band, actually.
Yeah.
Well, ska punk. Yeah.
Any videos?
I'll privately send you the SoundCloud link in the hope that it doesn't get leaked. But yeah, I was a singer in a ska band, and but it's about the energy, isn't it? You know, the energy in metal or ska punk or whatever it is, and the tempo as well, right? It's like that energetic 170 BPM kind of stuff, and so it's obvious that there's a reason why the majority of the people that are into drum and bass came from punk or metal. Tyler, what about you?
Bit of everything, mate. Honestly, I was younger, I was always rock, and then started getting into hip hop massively, and I started making hip hop. And then when I was younger, I started going to free parties when I was like 14, and then we started like getting involved with like putting shows on and stuff when I was younger. And that was like, this was like back in like the Mackie G days, like back in the day, like coming like that stuff. And there was like Jump Up, and like in my area in Kent, there wasn't really much going on apart from raves. So I used to go to raves constantly, and then I started getting like proper entwined with the culture. Started producing like 8 or so years ago, and yeah, when I moved to Bristol, obviously, as it always does, it just overloaded, and I started linking up with like loads of artists and stuff, and kind of trying to finding my sound a bit more. But I've always been like mostly like the deeper drum and bass stuff's always been a bit of me, a bit more, I think, even deep down. Like once I went to a rave and I listened to it, I was on a Void system, I think, and I felt like the bass like in my stomach, and I was like, this is the nuts, this is what I want to make. Like, and then yeah, kind of just taking, like, I make a lot of jungle stuff, and I always take, like, I've got like 200 vinyls under me of just like jazz and stuff that I always go try and draw for, and kind of just like getting influences from other genres. Like my minimal stuff, kind of like I listen to like techno, like I'll just bang like a techno mix on for like 2 hours and just kind of get influence from that. Obviously hip hop's a massive one in terms of like vocals and stuff as well. Like I sample so many old hip hop tracks, and then that's why I like working with MCs, especially good ones. So yeah, just everything, mate, everything.
I love that. No, and that's really important. You know, there's no point fucking making drum and bass if all you listen to is drum and bass.
I couldn't imagine listening to drum and bass all day, every day, mate. I'd do wedding.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I'm going to flip the script a little bit here, and just to kind of hear me out. Right, if you were having me or a friend or a good friend or someone you were trying to impress around for dinner, what meal would you cook them? And like, Ellis, I'm going to start with you, mate.
On the spot, mate.
What meal would I cook them? I mean, I've just recently gone pescatarian, so I mean, it's got to be something with fish or veg, isn't it, mate?
Fishy, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of limited if you like a carnivore out here. You know what I'm saying?
Are you a bit of a chef or not really?
Yeah. My dad was a chef. He was a chef in Boston for some years, to be fair. So like, I can cook, can hold my own.
Yeah.
But put me on the spot, mate. I will be honest. What would I make? I'd probably make something Caribbean, and I mean, like I said, because it would be something fish. I'd probably make like maybe snapper and like red snapper, and I don't know, probably just like coconut rice and some kind of like jus, like a Caribbean flavor.
Yeah.
And some plantain, of course, some fried plantain. That would probably do, wouldn't it? That'd probably impress the masses.
So Ellis, where do you live?
I live in Birmingham.
So plantain, is that because like where I am, plantain, where I'm from, I used to live in Brixton for 10 years, but now, like that's not on sale around my area now. So is that? Can you get that in Birmingham?
Yeah, of course, bro. I mean, it's heavily multicultural, and to be fair, you can get it in like certain Tesco's and that, believe it or not, which is surprising. But yeah, like local markets and stuff, everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I'm down in the southeast countryside in the middle of nowhere. So yeah.
Like is that Surrey or somewhere like that?
No, well, it's like it's Brenchley, a little village in the middle of nowhere. It's only an hour from London, but it's there's no plantain in the supermarkets. But I did live in Brixton for 10 years. And that is the ingredient that I miss most, actually.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. You can have it with anything. Do you know what I mean? I have it with breakfast and all sorts, brother.
So, what are you saying, Tyler?
Oh, mate, I reckon I make a mean fried rice, you know, bro. Like 20 different ingredients, everything. It's honestly, it's like what I kind of just do like a batch of rice up for like 2 days, and then I'll just get everything from the cupboards, make my own kind of. Or Asian food is like my favorite, honestly. Like I like spicy and stuff like that, so I'll just mix like 20 things together, and then do like a little poke bowl kind of thing, like edamame beans, fresh bits there, hot bits there. You know what I mean? Like I like, and obviously loads of chili oil has to be done. So like. I just like spice, man. So yeah, just.
Wait, you making your own chili oil?
Yeah, well, so mate, it's easy to make. You can make your garlic oil and that as well. I used to make it loads, but now I just go. I'm in Bristol, so I've got like the best Asian market around the corner. So now I just get the big jar of chili oil and just blow my head off.
Yeah.
Banging.
And what about you, Dan?
So I probably make pad thai. My old housemate, basically was like mad into like cooking like Thai food. And he had like this Thai food book, and I was like going through it, and I was like, oh, pad Thai, that seems like relatively easy to make. So I made it like for the first time. I was like, oh, that is like so good. And then I was making it like maybe like 3-4 times a week, just smashing it out. And I think I've got it down to a T now, to be fair. So probably pad Thai.
I mean, let's be honest. Right, I'm very lucky. My Mrs. Sammy is the chef in the house, and we do have a spice shop. But let's be honest, like a lot of these meals that we've described, you are going to need to have, like for anyone that's listening out there in the middle of nowhere or not in a major city, they're not going to have the right ingredients to do these meals. So yeah, interesting. Okay. Florian, are you there?
His mic's muted.
His little pictures making me laugh, man.
No, I was wondering if there's a little German dish that
it's going to be schnitzel, isn't it? Surely.
That's is that German?
It's there's the leaks in it, the food.
No, it's got to be currywurst, isn't it?
Yeah. No, currywurst bangs, mate. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, let's assume that was his choice. Okay, cool. Let me get my little list of questions up. So basically, I wrote a little list of questions, and then Florian sent me a list of questions. But I have a feeling that he asked ChatGPT, whereas mine is purely from the heart. So let's go with. Right, let's talk about each of you as individual artists. Tyler, what have you got for the rest of the year? What have you got lined up apart from this collaborative Cadre EP?
Actually, to be fair, yeah, there's we've got the next thing coming up. We've got an OCC charity pop-up event in Bristol. We're donating to Changing Tunes, which is like a organization which basically like helps people in prison and stuff with like get access to music and kind of help them in their lives. So we're going to do a pop-up event in a barber shop in Clifton. We're bringing a rig down there, and we're literally just gonna raise money for that. That's like, I think it's the 12th, and then honestly, just Patreon's keeping me busy.
Well, I'll also add that you've got features on a few Flex Out things as well.
Always, mate.
as always.
Always.
And yeah, no, that's great. I mean, like, this EP is our main focus for today's conversation. But there is the 200 Flex Out release is coming out in a couple of months with yourself and Marlon Reslek, who also features on this EP. Unfortunately, he can't join us on the call, but shout out to Marlon. Really, really cool artist that is from Germany, based in Portugal. I predict a bright future for him. What about you, Dan? Dan, is there any forthcoming bits other than this tune with Tyler that you've got coming out for the remainder of 2024?
Yeah, so I've got like so I'm not sure if it will come out this year, but I'm currently working on an EP with Jack Workforce on Must Make.
Oh wow!
So
what, a collab
almost. No. Sorry, as in like we're like, just a solo one. That'd be sick though.
Wink, wink.
Nah, but like just a solo EP on Must Make. But yeah, I'm slowly working through it now. But so that should hopefully be coming out at the end of the year. Got a track with Mable on the Flex Out
200. Yep.
And then I've got a track on Integral on like their 20 years VA, which will be coming out at the end of the year. That's about it, really. I think for now. I mean, I'm working on a few other bits. Got a track with Creatures coming out at some point this year as well on Overview on his EP.
Cool. I mean, you've just inspired me to ask the question of, like, in terms of labels, like, anyone can feel free to answer this question, but what is the most important reason for you to sign to a label, or what attracts you to a label? Can anyone jump in and kind of explain what attracts them to a label, or something along those lines?
Yeah, man.
Money.
Money.
I'm joking.
Who said that?
Money.
Who said money, John Bass? No,
who said that? Tyler.
Yeah, I'm joking. No money here, mate.
no, but you're absolutely right though. For some people, it's money. For some people, like I got artists on the label that all they care about is having their stuff pressed to vinyl. I got some people on the label that all they care about is, I want you to put me in front of a pair of decks and promote me as a DJ. You know, everyone's got a different angle, and it's just really, really interesting to see.
Just if they push you, man. I think that's like the most important thing. If you see a label that kind of doesn't have that transparency with not only the fans but the artist as well. Like I've had some labels that are like, I've decided they've got a tune off me, and then I haven't really spoken to them again. Yeah, and like it's like it's not easy to just make something out of nothing. Do you know what I mean? So you want to make sure that goes to a place where it's meaningful, and you want it to reach people and touch people in a way. And you're not going to get that if it's just some guy who's just like, yeah. And then you want that transparency with an artist, and even like with labels, if they put in that extra little bit of work and kind of just keep those conversations with you, give you opportunities, and then you'll want to work with them again. Like if you give, it's a give and take relationship with the ups and the downs. So I think you want to find a home for your work, and you want it to be respected, and you also want to be respectful of them and what they do, and like it's just give and take, really.
Yeah, sure. All right, and then just to let's end it here then. So what is let's go around the room and say, like, what is your ultimate goal as an artist, or do you have an ultimate goal? Like, Dan, what are you saying? What's your goal as an artist? Is there any sort of like, right, if I do this, then I've made it?
I guess if I was ever able to get to the point where I could do it almost full time. I mean, if I'm working a part-time job and also doing the music stuff, I'd be like very happy with that. But for me, it's just I feel like I don't know, I've got to make music. I had like a couple of months off recently because my PC was broke. And for me, it's just staying true to my sound and the sound that I like, I guess. And if something comes from it, then so be it. But yeah, I guess if I was able to do it semi full time, if that's even a thing, that'd be the sort of end goal for me personally.
What about you, Ellis?
For me, brother, if music can take me around the world and help me experience things that I wouldn't be able to otherwise, I'm happy. I don't make music for the money, you know, like for monetary gain or anything like that. I do because it frees my mind and stuff, and you know, it feels like an innate kind of passion. But yeah, if it was to take me around the world, and like I said, see places that I wouldn't be able to see otherwise, I'm happy, man, bro.
Nice. And so, just on that subject, because like I suppose I've always seen you as a recording artist rather than an MC or a host. But is that something you do as well?
Yeah. I mean, OCC have like put me on. I've got a show with the North Quarter on the 12th of October. Me and Sattel. So you know, I'm going to be alongside like people that I looked up to coming into drum and bass. Lensman, you know, I'm speaking to Lensman quite regularly now. Sattle's like my bro. Like we've got this kind of relationship now that I could have only have dreamt of like years ago. Do you know what I mean? And I've got people that I'm working with like Teej, Objective, Lupo, like who have literally put me on. And you know, I appreciate that love and that kind of just putting faith in me, you know, because it is new to me, like, you know, emceeing and hosting and stuff. Originally, I've only ever like recorded tunes and put my thoughts onto songs and stuff, but I feel like hosting is something that I could definitely do.
And do you have any MCs in drum and bass that, if I asked you, like, so your number one, you know, the one artist in drum and bass who would inspire you, I guess, or like who's influenced you? Who would that be?
I mean, I like SPMC. I mean,
correct.
He's you know, one of the best in it, without a doubt, if not the. But I love Fox. I'm a big fan of Fox, man.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, on the 12th of October, he's going to be on the same bill. So to be on that bill.
So if anyone's listening, because as a promoter as well, like that you know, it's always a struggle to get good quality hosts, MCs, whatever you want to label them. Yeah, that you are available and
sign me up.
Yeah, and that's really cool, and I love that, the fact that for you the motivation is to be able to travel the world through music and experience, like, you know, that's brilliant. Tyler, what about yourself?
The same as Ellis, to be fair, mate. Like, just traveling's like the main thing that I've been grateful enough to get a lot of opportunities to travel the world, and I'm not even started really. Like, I think, yeah, like monetary goal. Like, if you're trying to get money, then this isn't the right thing that you should be doing, because it impacts like your end goal as well, end result of your music. Like, if I wanted to make money, I'd make bootlegs all day. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to travel though, meet people, like meet amazing people, then this is the thing you want to be doing. And I've met some amazing people and I've been to some great places, but I've kind of only just had a taste of it.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, if I can sit there at the end of life and be like, I've fucking done all that, I've been everywhere, and I've met some great people, then what else do you really need apart from that?
Yeah, exactly. Look, you guys are free, or really authentic people, and that's why I love you, and I'm really glad that you're part of this project and doing this with Flex Out. And for me, authenticity is everything in this scene. You know, I think it's really obvious from chatting to all of you that everyone's got their heart in the right place, that you're all doing this for the right reason. And it's so amazing that an EP like this, we've got such a great group of people. Flex Out's always been about deep, dark soul music, and that's exactly what this EP is. You know, it's from the soul. It's deep, it's dark, and it's I'm really, really super proud of it. So I reckon we should probably conclude there, and then thank you guys all for joining us tonight. Hopefully we can get something to share to help sort of promote this EP. But yeah, big up everyone.
Oh, love, man. Yeah, appreciate it. You're safe, boys.
Nice
one. All right, let's call it a day.
Safe. So, boys.